So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. I trust everybody's doing well. Welcome to our Q&A session. We do this every first Saturday of each month. The whole idea is to get our practitioners to come and share their experience with us. And then that way they answer our questions. So just as an FYI, just give me 1 minute. Okay. I know, it's a little bit off. So just a heads up. Just give me 1 second. How you doing now, Joe? How's everything? I trust you're doing good. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Just just a minute. I think I thought this was so that I think I have a little issue with my background. So just give me a just pause and then fix that. Yeah, sorry about that. I had technical difficulty with my virtual background. So once again, welcome to our session. The session is really built for you. What we do is we get our practitioner to come and share their experience with us, and then we learn about their journey. They give us, a thing or two as regards recommendations, and then that way we all learn or push that conversation forward. We do this every first Saturday of each month. We also have another session. That session we do it on the third Saturday. The last Saturday I was able to actually come in and share about some builder experiences. But that's where we get our practitioner. They share their journey. They actually speak about components or tools within their tool set that within the ServiceNow space that they are using, and then how it will be beneficial for us so that we can take it for a spin. So go using our personal development instance or PDIs, and then actually use that, see how it behaves or the features or capability, and then see how we can incorporate it in our build as we move forward. That's really important there. FYI, we are still in the window. So, for example, knowledge starts next week. So you would be seeing, or you would have been hearing a lot of buzz about that. ServiceNow is going to be pushing that. That's their flagship event where they will talk about the new build or the new capabilities that they're introducing into the ServiceNow IT space, and then how the platform is continuing to evolve, especially with AI or agentic AI and the different security, like the AI control tower, things like that. So a lot of push will be there. And after that, there would be a lot of events that would be to actually roll that into the ecosystem throughout the year or the remainder of the year after that. We are in almost like the second month of the second quarter. So, from then on, it's up and up for them. Also, we barely have a month, I believe. So that would be June 30th for you to actually take that mainline exam for free. It's called the Certified Data Foundation, so Certified Implementation Specialist for Data Foundation, CMDB, CSDM. CMDB, we all know, is the heart of the platform. And then CSDM is talking about how to align the data within that platform, within that CMDB. So you're looking at how you can align that data and make sure you can propagate or use it for multiple product areas. So make sure you have, foundation well, and then the other bits that actually, or components that actually tie together, just for the most part. Get that certification. The certification is huge. All you need is the CMDB fundamentals on demand. Go take that course there. That course is packed. Right now, there's even another one that is called a PAT, Data Foundation PAT. That will also, at the end, provide you the opportunity for that first attempt for free. But that has a lot in it. But if you can focus on that CMDB fundamentals, once you're done with that, you actually have 2 micro certifications. So and assessments, that those 2 certification increases your platform knowledge, also provides you with capability where you are able to get hands-on for how to set up or configure that CMDB and see how. So CMDB, I believe CMDB Health, and then manage the CMDB. Those are the 2 microsets that you will have, and then see how for example, the pillars, 3 pillars that are up there on the CMDB. So ingest the data, manage that data, and then talk about reporting on the data, the insights from that data, and then you would talk about a lot of other pieces there from within. So, for example, the CMDB workspace, data manager, and other parts like that within it. So huge. Go there, take it. At the end of it, look at sample questions that they would ask in between the models, or in between the courses. Take a look at the it's called blueprints, exam blueprint. They have a couple of recommendations. There's some additional course. There's introduction to that CMDB workspace. There's introduction to data manager. There's introduction to a couple of other, I think data manager, and then is it the workspace, and a few others. So, but if you can do all of these, you should be well on your way to go take the exam and then pass it or ace it. That exam just has extra 15 questions. Normally it used to be 60 questions, 90 minutes, but now you have an extra 15 questions to it. So you have some extra time too as well to make sure you complete that. So that's why, so you might have questions that might be repetitive. So yes, there might be some questions in there that might be test style questions, just to gauge that you're following. Maybe you're passing it initially, then they're asking you again, just to make sure that you didn't guess it, just to tie that in, just as an FYI. So a lot of my ranting, I guess that's kind of like the whole housekeeping that I have. So we would go to our our discussion for today. So thank you, Zita. Thank you, Jude, for coming to share with us. So the floor is yours. We start out with a few questions that we have, and then don't forget you will be able to put your questions in the chat. So just in case you have any question, or you can also raise your hand and then ask the question, and then we can go ahead and get that conversation going. So let's get to meet you a little bit about you, and then we can kick off with the other questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Nemeka. It's an honor and it's a privilege to be here today. Just first of all, before I start, I just met Nemeka just a few months ago, and he has been a great encouragement and a great inspiration for me being here today in the first place. So I wouldn't start without mentioning that in Nemeka. So thank you so much, and I really appreciate all your support and your help so far. All right, so first of all, it's just all about me and my journey so far, and how I've got to be in the ServiceNow ecosystem today. Now, there's not so much to it, but everyone has their story and everyone has their journey. How much time do I have, by the way, Namika? Sorry, you're on mute.
So we just want to learn anything about you. We have a whole hour, right? So you're going to tell us, and then we have other questions, and then questions that others might have. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay.
It's your story. The idea is for you to be able to come out and share it.
Of course. Of
that you
course.
inspire us. That's the key.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So my name is Uju Zita Okoh, and prefer to go by Zita because it's easier for everyone, especially those that are not from Nigeria that wouldn't pronounce their first name correct. So I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, Ebonyi State to be precise. And of course, I wouldn't start talking about myself without starting with my parents. So my dad both of them were educationists. So my dad was a proprietor. I'm honored to say one of the biggest schools back in Ebonyi State in Nigeria. And also my mom was a head teacher in one of the government schools. So both of them, I grew up in that space of education and school system. So that was where it all started for me. So I did my first degree in Enugu State University of Nigeria, and it was in computer electronics engineering. So, but I didn't just do this course. There's a story behind me doing that course. While I was younger, when I was 15, my dad called me into his office. He had someone, a friend of his, he just introduced me. Oh, okay, come and meet my friend. He's an engineer, he's a computer engineer. Why don't you speak with him? I think you would love to do this course, engineering. I was like, engineering? What? No. So, and that was how he convinced. I said, no, that is not what I discussed with you. I wanted to study law. That was my plan. So if you have a father or a parent who is an enthusiast for education, you would understand where I'm coming from. It was a no-no for me, because not because I didn't want anything to do with IT or anything. As I back then, IT was not even in the picture. So I I just said, because I hated mathematics a lot, I didn't want anything that would keep me there. Mathematics, anything English, literature, I was good in it. Yeah, you could just keep me there. So eventually, he talked me into it. I had one or two interests when he was talking about it. He had his reasons, very good reasons he gave me. And I remember the only good reason he gave me was because that in future, that man saw the future. That in future, that this career path is something that will keep you relevant in this space. I'm not saying law or any other thing wouldn't still be there tomorrow. Of course they will be, but this one would put you in anywhere you are, whatever you are doing. I'm just trying to remember his words then. Wherever you find yourself, you will still be relevant, and he just wanted me to have that stability. I disagreed with him, but knowing that he was someone that was very enlightened, and I listened to him. He did promise if along the line I didn't like it, then I can just change. And that was how I ended up doing engineering. Trust me, it was a tough journey doing engineering for 5 years, computer engineering. It was tough, especially with FEG, further maths and all that. So that's by the way. So thankfully to God Almighty, to thank Him for His grace so far, I graduated, and so that was just it in a nutshell about my parents. Now, also, I grew in a Christian family, a Christian faith family, and it's something would always uh, see as a number one before every other thing. We put God first before every other thing. So that's me. Okay. So I have three lovely children, two girls and a boy, and I've got two kittens as well. So, um, talking about the education part, then I came to the UK to do my master's in IT. Okay. Now, also that journey is another different story altogether. Now, all this while, all of this, somehow I always found myself in this environment where, um, while I'm talking, you may pick lessons. I wanted to discuss my lessons, take away from this, but somehow I would mention it along the line because it is part of the story. Now, before I went on to do my master's, which was much years later, I was after my first degree. I didn't do anything back in school any longer until I came 3 years ago to do my master's in the UK. Now, before that, my first job was in AfriHub. AfriHub was, if any of us went to some Nigerian universities, we would have done AfriHub as a course. So AfriHub was just basically just an IT course or ICT course that everybody had to do as a course. Introduction to computers, introduction to Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel. Now, I went to that company just out of chance, not like I planned it. So I just wanted a job immediately after graduating, after my youth service. I just wanted a job. So I went on there. So I went in as a marketing staff to market their programs, because outside the university, because they do work contract jobs with the universities to offer these courses. So if you want basic or Excel, advanced Excel, you have to pay for it, and all of that. So we had to market these IT courses and get clients to do the programs and all of that. I never saw myself, to be honest, I wanted to do something else entirely, even after that. But um, now, while I was in marketing, motherhood came into the picture. I couldn't do marketing any longer. And then I had to go in to do customer services just so I can be in the office. Now, also, after that, I was asked to assist someone in the classroom. Now, this tutor, or rather, the person, he was teaching Oracle database management. So I was just assisting him in the class, maybe help with computer systems to put it on for the students, navigate to certain places if they wanted to on the system. So, and that was what I was doing. So I did that for a while. And for some reason, the guy left the company and he resigned. And the company, they asked me, can I take on the course? Like, I've always found myself in that situation in life where I am just scooped even when I'm not ready, just like Nemeka did that. So, and I have this, it was a little, I love challenges. So it's something I hadn't done before. And I said, yes, okay, fine. Now, I was a mom, I was a young mother, and I had infants. So I had to read all through the night in order to catch up. What am I going to teach these people? I had to call the guy. I had to call him and ask him, how do you do this? How were you able to teach it? What do I do? I've been asked to do this. So he was kind enough to put me through one or two. And I jumped into the classroom for the first time in front of people. And I think he had even had the class up to halfway. So it was very difficult. If you had started it, it was my thing to control. So, and that was how, I don't know, I can't tell you how I managed to. I had questions thrown at me that I didn't know the answer. The normal lecturers will say, okay, you have it as your next assignment in your next class and things like that. So, or rather, I would just find my way, okay, let's talk about, I think I'll go back to look at it and then I'll come back with an answer. And somehow it was challenging, but I can tell you one of the lessons I would mention now is that don't look down on any part of your journey, because that working in AfriHub formed a foundation and confidence that I have in the world that I am in now. So I did that. I trained and I taught a lot of people, over 500 students. Even sometimes, why it was that large number is because even during the summertime, secondary school students will come in to do some summer classes. Some professionals as well from companies will just send in their staff to come and do basic ICT courses. So, and would have to do that. So, but the funny thing is that even as I was an Oracle instructor, if I could, I didn't have the certification. I never wrote the certification. My students wrote the certification and they passed it. Some of them ended up being my friends. One of them is my best friend as of today. So some of them we became friends. And that brings me to another lesson, networking, keeping in touch with people. So um yeah, so that was it. Now from AfriHub, I went to work I got a job as an was it a support engineer in INEC. Yes, the INEC we all know. So while I was in INEC, I also had lots of experience. So I had senior colleagues who were already there. Of course, I was a novice again. I had to start from the beginning again. But fast forwarding years down the line, I was approached and I was asked, we want you to be in charge of the recruitment of all the ad hoc staff that would manage the card readers in the whole of Enugu State. I'm like, what? That was a second challenge. Like, I wasn't ready. I had other people there that would have been qualified for this. Why me? So my HOD then told me that, and I was like, yes, okay, no problem. Of course, I can do it. So I was given saddled with this responsibility of recruiting the staff and training them as well. And of course, the whole of Enugu ad hoc staff, we would have to deploy for each local government. We will have to deploy like maybe about five, not even for each local government, for each polling unit, there have to be one ad hoc staff to manage those card readers. So you can, when you calculate it, it's almost running into almost 8,000 persons or so. So we had to train these people. And that was the first time I had the opportunity to actually experience IT firsthand, not in AfriHub, really. AfriHub was just training theory and all that. Now, that was the first time I did third line support, IT support. I didn't, there wasn't a name like that to me then when I was doing it. It was coming into the Western world, like on even understanding what the terminologies meant. I realized that was what I was doing. So I trained these people. Configuration is just, install it, plug it, charge it, make sure it's working, connect it to the server that it should be connected to, put in the IP addresses and all that and make sure it's working for that particular, put in the SIM cards, send it down to where it should be going to. And if they have issues, they will of course call in. And if they call the second line and if they're not able to resolve it, they will of course escalate it to me. I had other colleagues working with me as well. It was a huge project. It was challenging. So, but this was something I loved doing, working with computers, solving, um, rendering technical support was something I found out I loved doing along the line. And along the line, I also discovered I loved teaching. So, and then I always found myself either training people. Every job I have done, I'll end up somehow in the training department, teaching people and all that. So, and that reflects me back to my parents, who the background where I come from. I didn't realize, I didn't know that was what, I would be ending up doing, along the line. So, eventually to from INEC, we sometimes we had to even go down to very remote areas, volatile areas, to conduct elections, to make sure these things are working properly. And sometimes in those places there will be no network, and the villagers or the voters would want to take it out on us. We would be running for our lives. So I have had dangerous, like it was sometimes I would, there was one we did in Port Harcourt where we had to just run under the hillocks, and there were people, they were shooting a lot of, it was very, I had to think about my children. I said, oh God, please save me from this one. I have kids to take care of. All the name of I want to do IT support for INEC and all that. So we had to earn a living somehow. It was challenging, but eventually we ended up transmitting the results we came back with, and did collation of the results, aggregation of the data, just putting it together and uploading it to the server and all that. Now, all those things didn't really make much meaning to me as per se. I know I had that background of engineering, computer engineering, but to me, I wasn't really practicing much as I had wanted to. So, and also other responsibilities and life happens and things happen. And I would just leave those things, I left my IT and tech and all that. So years later, I decided that I wanted to come back, and just because I loved working with computers. So I came into the UK to do my IT, to do my master's in IT. So finished, graduated. Luckily, by the grace of God, my first job was as a first line IT support versus data entry supervisor. When with the big names, it's not really too much. Sometimes with the big names, you think it's one big deal. It's not. So it just was just with AQA. AQA is like an examination body. Those of you in Nigeria would know, like WAEC, and yeah, something like that. So the company would be to just ensure that the results are maybe scanned, or that they are in the correct format in order for the examiners to be able to mark it. So I had to supervise people, always ending up in that area again where I had a group of people to teach and check and supervise on what they were doing. So that was the first job I did in the UK in that space, and I was very happy. I was, okay, I'm getting back into tech. Before you knew it, UK happened, and um, I ended up in a warehouse as a warehouse operative assistant. I have done the privilege of being a care assistant as well, done customer services and all that. Now, the reason why I said that networking is quite very important, especially with people in the space where you think you want to be, or there is need you. That's where you should even start from. Now, a friend of mine who happened to be a student that I taught in Africa, so he mentioned to me he has this friend, and there's this program they're doing service now. I said, I don't think I'm cut out for IT any longer. Like, I've lost it, because anytime, okay, well, everybody's doing data analysis, I want to do data analysis, and then it's either I'm trying to do a personal study and it's not working. Along the line, I get exhausted or I get lost, and then I just leave it behind. So I was almost giving up on this one. He brought it to my attention a couple of times, more than 3 times. He brought it to my attention. Then he gave me a phone number to reach out to Emeka. And who's Emeka's last name again? Emeka, forgive me, sorry. I think Emeka Chiazo, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
make a change. Yeah.
Yeah, Emeka Chiazo. So I reached out to Emeka, and I checked out his LinkedIn profile. It looks very interesting. So Emeka was so kind enough to come down to earth to actually explain and make me understand what this course was all about. So, and then I started to research and I started to understand, okay, this service now, okay, what I understood, I like putting things in simple terms. I don't like jargons. I don't like too much, terminologies. Just explain it to me like you would explain it to a child. So I had to go do my own research to understand that it was just a platform for rendering IT services on cloud, if I will put it like that. So, okay, this is something I have been doing all this while, so why not give it a try? But although there were some other, and another thing, I don't like coding. And the fact that they said it was a low code, no code, low code, no code program, I was like, okay, there's no Java or there's no this in this one. Okay, I'll give it a try. So also then when we started this, so I got to be part of the ServiceNow, the Africa community, the ServiceNow community. So I had to join some of the courses. We were asked to do some of the courses. I would sit up. My children would say, "What are you doing on the system every time? You should go to bed, mommy. You've just finished work. Go to bed." And all that. I said, "Don't worry." So it was something interesting. Now we did a lot of micro certifications while doing it. We did the first time looking at the ServiceNow University program. It looked too ambiguous. It looked too many things to navigate, too many things to look at. I'm like, when will I finish learning all this ones? The material, the ebook is just a lot, you know. So I'm like, oh God. Okay, anyways, so eventually we I was part of the Africa Nigerian group that started to do some of this course, and then we were asked to enroll for the Rise Up program. I said, I thought that was what is this one again? I thought we had started it already. Like, so I didn't really get it. It all made sense gradually as we went along the line. It all made sense, gradually. So I did I submitted my application to be admitted to the for doing the course, and also I was informed it was going to be a 4 months course. I said, I actually, to be honest, I enrolled just because, not because I had a plan. I didn't have a plan, which is something I would change if I would do this again. So I just went along just because it was something I wanted to, just in case, because there might be someone out there who might be relating to my story, just going along. Some of us are, you know, privileged or might be opportune to have a plan, or be have this personality to actually plan what they want to do. Me as a mom, too many things, and relocating to a new environment was not helping either. So, but I knew that I needed, this is somewhere, somehow I always find myself back in the game trying to get there. So I said, okay, I think it's about time I actually looked into this. Now, another thing that helped me here was the fact that I had to make a decision. So at some point in life, you actually have to sit yourself down. No, sometimes nobody's coming to do these things for you. Sit yourself down. It was my choice. My friend brought this. He finally brought this to me. And then he passed on Emeka's number. I could have decided not to reach out. I could have decided not to do this, but I can tell you, within few months, it's made a huge difference. It's made a lot of difference. I can't even explain it. Now, we started when I made that application for the Rise Up ServiceNow program. In sometime in January, I got the email that I was admitted. I was surprised. I was like, really? So I made it into I think in my group, I did the evening, Europe evening sessions, which which lasted for 14 weeks. That's about, it started in January 19, we had just finished. So while in the program, about 40 something or 30 something students in the classroom, people from all over the globe. That was when I knew this was a serious business, you know. People from India, Germany, the US, the UK, Nigeria, all over Africa, Tanzania, and people from all walks of life. So, and that was when ServiceNow started making a lot of sense. Now, it then dawned on me that the company I was working for was making use of ServiceNow. So the platform we were using was built on ServiceNow. So the only reason why I was able to see that was because I have had hands-on on ServiceNow. So I started to understand, oh really, this is serious. Like a lot of like I've attended some of your sessions. When I attended Nemeka, you were talking about it, on how many percentage of companies that are using ServiceNow and all that and all it. I didn't really get it, but I got to see it firsthand. So along the line during the program, I can tell you it was not easy. I had to do a 9 to 5 and then do a 6 to 9 every day from January to April. It was not funny. I had a lot of responsibility. I live a very busy lifestyle. So it was very difficult to combine. But I can tell you that I knew at this point I had to be consistent about this. I knew this time I had to, make sacrifices. And this is what and while doing ServiceNow, what ServiceNow will do to you is that because you had started it's an interesting program. It's especially with the people that had organized the program, they so much simplified it that to everyone from any spheres of life. Don't say because I have a background computer engineering, I was just like any other person who hated engineering, hated mathematics. It's just like I would always find myself in that way. But I can tell you, be you a nurse, be you maybe a mechanic somewhere, or any profession, ServiceNow is a platform you can easily engage with. Be you a teacher, wherever, whatever age or spheres in life. And the earlier you start, the better. So when I did this, so okay, while doing that program, some of the things I would talk about now is something I didn't know I would be able to understand and learn. So at the end of the program, I was asked to lead a group, my group to create a project. So because we had to do some hands-on project, so we created an application where we had to create dashboards, um, models using ServiceNow Studio. And the interesting thing is that when they told us it was a low code, no code, there was a code in there somewhere. Then when they said I had to call on the CEO HIP Digital team, I had to say, sir, you told us this was a low code, no code program. What is Java doing here? So I found myself debugging into 3 a.m. into the night. It's something like, what will I be doing that? So before, if I heard these terms, I would be like, well, anyway, it's for the tech service. It's for those that are really high up there to do. But I found myself doing that. I found myself finding solution, or even when I couldn't find the solution, when I brought it back to people who could help, when it would just be something very, very, so it could be as little as a comma that I was missing, and that solved the whole issue. So we had to run some UI policies, business rules we had to implement. We had to use flow designers to, create these automations. So see me talking about these things now. Before, if I hear them, I don't know what you're talking about. So um, we built. We had to bring up topics, and I had to bring up a real life business problem. So I will talk about the project I did in ServiceNow. It was called the Auto Service Hub. It's on my LinkedIn profile. I just put just a sneak peek into it. Auto Service Hub was challenges that auto servicing companies experience, which can be implemented or which can be found in every company. Now, this particular one, Auto Service Hub, was a personal experience I had with where I was working as a customer service, where we had to have surge of phone calls, customers calling in to ask about. I'm just explaining this real life scenario so that people can understand what ServiceNow can do. So I worked in a company as a customer service, so which they still do manual, believe it or not, they still do manual bookings, calling in online, or rather, even those that have done it online are calling in to find out the status. Oh, is my vehicle ready for collection? Is what is ongoing? And all that. So many issues, or maybe I'm not receiving notifications or emails. Uh, Calling to confirm appointments, technicians, where is my technician, and all of that. Even internal issues as well. So now it's not like that solution was not there, it was there, but we had to build something enhanced where these issues could be caught. So we built an automated system where notifications goes out to the customers at every stage of their booking, and once they are notified, those those loads of calls we had could be curbed. And because one thing that affects businesses, believe it or not, is that when a customer calls in, if you don't pick up their phone call, they would maybe probably go with another company, especially when it's a service providing company like such as that one. They will go with another company, and by the time you reach out to them, they will tell you, oh, they've gone ahead with another company. These are real life problems I have experienced, and we had to build this system that was able to capture these issues and resolve them as well. Also, we were able to build portals where customers, user interface, where the customer could be able to use dashboards, the knowledge base, they could be able to read about or check for, when you go on websites, for instance, the Disney website, what are you looking for? You can type in, you can see articles, you could see a lot of things on the website. Now, it's not just all about building this website or the portal. You could create a customer-friendly application that can actually, yes, exactly, that could actually help the customers to navigate the system easily without reaching you. You just pick it up. It's automated. They get what they want, and life is easy. And the world is fast growing now. Everything is AI, automated, and all that. So nobody, and we have this issue where people were so disappointed with the company. Oh, the company is big as this. Why should I be having this issue? So AI is fast growing, is something everybody will be embracing, and it is something you could be left. AI is not taking over anybody's job, but you will be left behind if you are not there to use AI to make work easier, make jobs less expensive for people, and all that. So, having said all that, so today I can proudly tell you I'm preparing to write my CAD, my Certified Administration Developer exams very soon, and I am not stopping there. And just within few weeks, I've just graduated from this program. I wouldn't lie, I have had two people, or rather one company was an apprenticeship company that had approached me, and another one who was making an inquiries for an interview as an ServiceNow alumni. I can proudly say I'm a ServiceNow alumni now. So for me to be able to, I have an interview upcoming, and then the other one was the apprenticeship. Why I may not be able to go ahead with them yet is because either they are not one. So it places you at that opportunity, that place where you have to make a choice, where you know where you are heading to right now. I have just started. Before I would be like, I'm just all over the place, but right now I know where. When we started service now, they asked us, what do you want to do? Some people said developer, some people said, me, I didn't say anything because I didn't know where I wanted to head to with this. But as of today, I can tell you my target is to be a solutions architect, because that is where I am heading. I know where I want to get to right now. So it's giving me that opportunity, it's giving me that platform where I know, just like it's a circle. Just yesterday, I was in this space listening. I can't believe I am the one here now, going to leave a message behind, even for those that would come after this time now to watch this program, maybe on YouTube, online. I could be encouraging someone out there who might have a similar thought along the line of what even if not, what I can tell or say is that ServiceNow has given me this is giving me this confidence. Like, if I add this on my CV, it's something I can brag about. It's not just any other certification out there. It's something I can brag about. It could be any other thing, just like the ITSM and the rest of it. It makes you understand all of it. And Emeka, you were talking about ITSM months ago, and I was just looking, I'm like, what is this guy yapping about? I understand it's some of them database management systems and all of that. Yes, I get it, but what exactly are you guys talking about? But yeah, here I am today, and I can proudly tell you that this is something that could sell me, you know, very well. I know where I'm heading to. I have a plan right now. I didn't yesterday, but right now, I can surely tell you that I'm going to be a hot cake out there very soon.
For sure, for
If
sure.
I
The
put it
plan,
that
the
way.
plan.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good journey. Zephy asks, so what habits or routine have helped you stay consistent with all of these goals and keeping you focused? What habits have kept you?
Oh, the habits, yes. Is naturally, I once I start something, I want to finish it. That's a good thing that comes naturally with me. Even if I had to struggle through it, I'll get it done. But for anyone who doesn't have that habit come naturally, it was difficult. It's going to be difficult, to be honest. You need to stay consistent. It pays off eventually. In the end, you just need to stay consistent. So some of these habits is, for me to make sure that I assign a time. I don't need to give it 3 hours, 2 hours. No, like 30 minutes. If I dedicated 30 minutes into my, just a plan for me to, okay, I know I am doing this, apart from the 6 to 9, I know that I had to spend extra hours even after the class to catch up with the tests, because you'll be given tests after every class. There are labs to do, there are assignments to do. Sometimes I end up going to bed, but I didn't want to have backlogs, because if you leave one day, it will pile up and you end up, you're not having a weekend. So those little timings, 30 minutes, extra 1 hour, that really helped me. Yeah, and being how busy I am, a mom, working, and the rest of the thing that comes with life, just making a plan, dedicating time in chunks, in small bits, in micro bits like that, it helped me. Yeah.
Good deal, good deal, good deal. So what do you do outside of work before we get Zippy's other question? What do you do outside of work to rest and recharge? What do you do outside of work to rest and recharge?
Okay, yeah. So outside, I live a very busy life, honestly. So to be honest, I'm not those that will say, oh, you need to take out time to chill, this, that. I know it's important, to be honest. I have things I would love to do at my spare time. I tried to do them, but my time was really tight, especially with this program right now, with some circumstances surrounding me at the moment that I had to manage. So what I would do a few times, sometimes even in between the labs, I would just leave it to go and watch a movie. I love movies. And I love good food. I'm a foodie, like not just any food. I love good food. When the children have gone to bed and they're all sleeping, then I can just chill, take out. Even if I have to stay awake 1 hour to give me my me time, I will do it just to be happy, have my me time with the movie and some good snacks, and spending time with loved ones as well. It means a lot to me. Those things, yeah.
Good deal, good deal. But it's good. Most of the managers I know, they like good food and they cook and do all good things. So it's a good thing. uh, Zippy said, what advice would you give your younger self? Okay, before we go.
Oh dear, yes. To my younger self, I would tell her to start earlier. To start earlier. I would tell her to, and don't, I was always all over the place. I want to do this. Oh, I want to, for me, it could be any other career you're doing. For me, I want to be, um, everybody's doing, was it, at the time, it was Cisco, Oracle, PNP, project management. Back in the, I wanted to do all of that. The only reason why I wasn't able to, you know, I want to start now is because I wasn't able to narrow it down. Like you can't do it all. You can't do it all, and nobody knows it all. Just pick a niche, something that is relatable. It might be difficult, but it's something you love doing, something you can relate to. Also, I would have told myself, take out time, do your research, and pick a niche, and just be consistent in it and start early. Yeah, yeah.
Good deal, good deal. So, so how do you stay up to date with technology trends? How do you stay up to date with trends, technology? Especially you talked of AI too. So, how are you keeping up with that AI?
Okay, that one is an ambiguous question because don't get carried away with the too many things out there. There's a lot of resources to look through. There's a lot of videos to watch. There's a lot of don't So what I do now that I have been able to pick my niche to concentrate on what I try to keep up with the trends with ServiceNow. Trends was the new thing coming up with ServiceNow. Also, if you notice, my LinkedIn profile only became very active very recently. I have started to follow people in that career path that I want to follow. So keeping up with them. As for AI, um, just researching how it integrates with what you are currently pursuing. Yeah. So with AI, it's very vast. The chatbots and all whatnot, all the rest of it, just to keep up to date. Keep, but like I said, it's very broad. It's a lot, but narrow it down. Maybe when you're making your research, narrow it down. How does this AI in future relate to this particular field? So it helps me to just narrow what I want to search for, narrow it down. It's okay to look aside around it as well, but that's how I keep up with my trends, just keeping up with the latest updates with ServiceNow, which is the platform I want to, I'm so happy with ServiceNow right now, which is the platform I want to keep up with right now. And then also, sorry about that. And then that was me setting an alarm for me to go do ServiceNow, just to get my hands on. To be honest, that was my alarm going off. So I put it for 6 p.m. because I did my program 6 to 9. So I set the alarm for me to, even if it's for 30 minutes, go back to the application that we built. There were new features we wanted to add to it, just to go back so that I can still keep it. Because trust me, if you leave it, it leaves you. So it's just me trying to, or maybe to study for my certification exam coming up. I hope I answered your question. Sorry, I hope I didn't talk too
Oh,
much.
yeah. Like I said, there's both the long and the short answer, so it's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see any new questions in the chat. The other one is it's kind of like a conundrum in the industry, right? So training versus certification. There's a lot of school of thoughts differently, but
Ah,
what's your own view? So training versus certification. What do you think?
yeah, that's actually a good question. um, Training versus certificate. I would say both, because there would be no certification without training. Somehow there's a training that has to go on without before. The training gives you that confidence. The training equips you well, while the certification just gives you that validation. So I would say both. Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Like I said, it's part of it. There's no right or wrong answer. The mix of both is where you want to be. Because
Yeah.
the certification gives you validation, the foot in the door thing. But that certification,
Yes.
that training gives you that confidence, that know-how, that feel, the hands-on
Exactly.
that you need
Exactly.
to keep you
Exactly.
there. Yeah. Good deal. So the next question is also, a good one. So it's generalizing. Do you want to be a journalist or do you want to be a specialist? So what's your
Mm.
own thing?
No,
With you?
I've been a generalist all my life. It's not gotten me anywhere. But I can't say it's not gotten me anywhere. It took me a long time to be able to. Now I want to specialize. Although starting with IT support was a bit, which is broad, which is more generalist kind of pathway. So, but I would say specialize and be consistent, and it pays off because everybody will know you for this. So you can't be everywhere and master of none. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer. So
Of
you see,
course.
my own thing, like my own thing is this, right? Depends on where you are in your career, depends on the
Hmm.
industry you're working in, right?
Hmm.
So like what you have here, you have broad knowledge, right? You have your undergrad and you have your master's. It's both in engineering and IT. So
Hmm.
you have the foundation you need, right?
Hmm.
So and now you're trying to carve your niche within service now. So
Yeah.
if you're starting out, you want to know as much as, and then if you fall into like a
True.
technology consulting industry, you're going to know the breadth and depth of service now because you would work on almost every model or in any space. Depends on what is being implemented. So
Yeah.
and you need that, especially if you're, yes, you have the experience, but especially if you're just cutting your teeth within consulting industry, you want to have that because you're going to work with a lot of smart people and things like that. Then
True.
as you grow, you would see that area that you're passionate about and the ones that really tie back to this your IT and then your teaching and studying with people. Then you
Yeah.
want to be a master there. That's
Yes.
the
Yes.
yeah. At that
Yeah.
point, you want to say yes. I want to now narrow because at
Hmm.
this point now I paid my dues, so to
Hmm.
say. That's what
Hmm.
it is. So at that point, okay, I'm at this sweet spot. So that's why if you look at it from generalizing specialities, you you have a few domains where you're a specialist, but it's not like it's just one. Maybe so that's so maybe if they are like in service now we have a broad range of applications, right? Maybe you pick a handful, maybe four or three, you know, be a guru there in those four or three, something like that. Like in my case, I like ITSM, I like HR, I like customer service, I like field service, right? But definitely, would I be, working on them every other time more? No, but I've tried to follow up the trends around them and then the whole AI thing. So something like that, because for me, those are the areas that have to do with customers or employees, or even
Yes.
IT support. And
Okay.
then, when I started out, it's really IT support or support generally, listening to people, as an analyst, trying to understand their problem and solve for that. So it's really key. So
Mm-hmm.
really key.
Yeah.
So it's a beauty. Um, yeah,
Okay.
I don't see any other questions in the chat. Do we have any other person that wants to ask a question before we get Zita's advice for us to go? Do we have anyone that wants to ask any other question? So the other question is, what's your best food? Because you said you like hanging out with family and stuff. So that's the only
anything,
question. Yeah.
anything that has meat, suya.
Oh my God.
Suya. meat, meat. I love protein. Yeah, as long
Protein,
as
really
there's
protein.
good spiced, well spiced protein, you can just serve me that, and I'm good. I'll be your friend, just
It's
for good
very easy. It's
protein.
very
Yeah,
easy. Good. Very
yeah.
easy.
So, but
Very
having
easy.
that with a well liver garnished fried rice, yeah,
Nice.
that would
Nice.
be for
Nice.
me.
Nice. Okay. Fried
I
rice.
miss
Nice.
oha soup because I've been in UK. I've not really gotten oha soup. Love
No,
oha
but you
soup.
can cook it now. Don't you guys have a
I
lot
cook
of
it, but there's this,
like the things that go inside, like all
yeah,
the
there's a
dry things?
flavor. Maybe it's from the air back home. It's not in there. So,
The same thing. Okay. Okay.
some of these ones we use, the ingredients has to be frozen. So it just keeps everything too
That's it.
tight.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It
Yeah.
doesn't do justice because back home is
Doesn't do
fresh. I guess.
justice. If you're a foodie, you understand.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I love good food. Yeah.
Good. Good. It doesn't do justice. So what's next for Zita? Ima asks you, so what's next for Zita?
Okay. What's next for Zita? Right
What should
now,
we
I am,
expect?
yeah. I'm doing my CAD exams. I've just got the key to prepare for the exam. So I want to do my CAD exam. You can keep up with me on my LinkedIn profile. I'll keep, yeah, I promise to keep it active. So my CAD exams and then poaching for those good paying jobs. Yeah, I can't believe I am here right now. Honestly, it's been an amazing journey, and I thank everyone who had supported me up until this time. So that's what next for me. So if you don't see that CAD yet, maybe you should put me. You talked about, you said you're going to do your CAD, but I promise I'm going to do it very soon. Yeah,
You'll be good. All the best in it.
thank you.
So long as you made the 14 weeks or so, that's a 3 months that commitment. And then being able to get the CSC and all the micro sets and then actually deliver on the project. Because like I said,
Mhm.
it's a team sport, software development or consulting or analysis generally. It's a team sport. So whether you're the business analyst or whether you're the project manager, whether you're the scrum master or delivery manager or developer or the
Yeah,
quality assurance tester, debugging, right? Doing a lot of things or administrator. It's all of these stakeholders that make up that team and then provide the value to the customer when you get the working software or when you're delivering or deploying that solution. So
yeah.
it's a great deal. It's something to
Okay.
have.
All right. Thank you.
So we would celebrate the journey.
Yes, of
We would
course.
say amen to that. We know for sure you will get there. The jobs are out there.
I
Get
see
the
them.
certifications
I
and
see them in
go
them.
for
I
the
see
job.
them. I see them, and I'm
Yeah, the
like,
jobs are out there. They're waiting for you.
I see them. And right now, do you know the funny thing? Before, when I see the adverts for these jobs, I'll be like, well, But right now, looking at them, I'm like, okay, I can do this one. I can do that.
It's
Yeah,
in
I'm
reach.
qualified
Yeah,
for
it's
this,
in
and
reach
I'm
now.
that's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
No, but that's the beauty there. That's the thing, right? right? At the beginning, you'll be like, no, can I do this? But
Yeah.
ServiceNow simplifies the whole IT
Mm-hmm.
speak, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the point. I mean, there's a lot of I've been able to, or fortunate enough to work with different technologies, but ServiceNow simplifies it. I'm not saying there's no code underneath the
Yeah.
thing. There's a lot of code there, right? Whether Java, JavaScript, like we're talking
Well,
about, but it's drag and drop. They try to remove
thank you.
that from you,
Thank
where
you.
like the query builder that you see on those tables, those are SQL queries. You're
Yeah,
querying a
yeah,
database. But you
yeah,
don't necessarily have to see that, the whole thing where you have to write from this, join that. You're not having to, deal
yeah,
with
yeah,
that,
yeah. Thank
right?
you.
They make it
Yeah.
simple.
Mm-hmm.
So, or is even the automation, the UI builder one, or the flow designer one, or it makes it easy. But is it that there are macros there? There are a lot of, whether it's HTML code there, on the portal one you spoke about. There's HTML, there's
Yeah,
CSS,
yeah, yeah,
there's so
yeah,
much there, right?
yeah.
But ServiceNow tries to mask it from you.
It's, do you know what? Let me add to something you just said. Like ServiceNow simplifies it where you have to do drag and drops. Very true. To be honest, like they said, they were right when they said low code, no code. It's your choice. There are certain features you would want to see that will require you to do that little code. But then you have option of still doing it some kind of way to get it to look like what you want it to look like. Like when we were building the ACLs, I had to do um, um, the ACLs where then the UI policies as well, where we wanted a note that would, on a particular field, that would tell the customer just a little bit of explanation, give us your preferred appointment dates, just a note. So that needed a little bit of coding for us to reflect that on the
Field
form that
message.
the customer. Yeah, see me talking now. So it was up to us. We wanted to add that extra feature, that flavor to it to look, the customer, apart from selecting a date, appointment date that we give you to select, available date is from next week. You also have the option to say, I want this, I want this, I want that. And we'll give you a nota that can also help you do that. So even while building the ACLs in the studio, which you can also do in the main ServiceNow window. So the studio, so different ways of doing the same thing. That's the beauty. Yeah.
Good deal, good deal, good deal. I don't see any other questions in the chat. So, what's your words of advice for somebody trying to break into service now or into IT and then to grow their career? Just give us your, like I said, your high level view, right, or 360-degree view of what would get them there, or what has gotten you there, or what they can continue to do that for sure will get them there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nemeka. So I'll leave this message out there to the world because anybody can pick up on this video tomorrow. So just start. Just start. Just start. Don't say which one to where. The question could be which one. Yes, it's a good question. So once you find which one, just start. Once you started, and trust me, there would be a lot of things that would make you to say, there would be a lot of challenges. In fact, that's just what I'm trying to do. A lot of things that would want to stop you, or you would want to give up. I almost gave up on ServiceNow. And the funny thing is that ServiceNow came at I don't know, the toughest time I've ever had in life. So, but I didn't give up. And I can smile about ServiceNow. Some people are even sometimes I was sleeping and dreaming ServiceNow. So let me know, she from the question. So just start and continuous learning. If you don't understand it, if you don't get it, ask questions. Network. We have at least I don't know whether it's something that comes with, especially if you want to do ServiceNow, except there's another some course you want to do, which can be applied everywhere else as long as it's ServiceNow. The ServiceNow ecosystem is more like, I don't know, it's like family somehow. You can reach out to anybody, ask any question, except they are not available to answer at the moment. They will answer. So ask questions, no matter how difficult it might seem. I did it. If trust me, if I did this, anybody can. My 11-year-old girl, she's something else. She asked me a similar question. She's thinking about real estate. She's thinking about owning her own fashion industry. She's thinking about unlike any other of my kids. She's the kind of things that comes to her head. And when I was doing service now, believe me, she has also learned one or two while I was doing this. She will sit down with me and I'll tell her, okay, help me ask maybe Cloud or ChatGPT, ask this while I'm checking this one, so that she's a very active child, so that she can leave me alone. But she has learned a few things. So if she can, you can. So continuous learning and just start. Because no matter how little. And if you look back, by the time you look back, 4 months have passed when we started. Like 4 months have passed, and looking back, 4 months is a long time. It's a long time. And I can't even remember those sleepless nights any longer. So just start. It will pay off eventually. Yeah. Thank you.
Good deal, good deal. I love it. I love it. And we're grateful. Thank you, Zita, for coming to share your journey and your experience with us.
Thank you so
We are
much.
glad
Thank
to
you.
have you. Um, hey, one thing certain, right? We will celebrate. I know that because the major thing is to start, right? The major thing is to
Yeah.
start and be consistent. And then everybody is learning. So don't like I said, we always have that say the headmaster was once a schoolboy because even he is
Mhm,
learning. Like
mhm,
when
mhm.
you stop learning is when you die, basically.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and then these platforms are not even slowing down, right? AI and the technology is really continue to evolve. We would continue to evolve with it. And then like I think I even had an interview recently where I told one of the I think a master architect and the managing director of one of the programs, I said, hey, if I if I know everything in service now, then I'm lying to you. And not just lying to you, then it means I'm not learning again.
Mhm,
That
yeah.
that then I'm not going to give you the full value you need. And he was
Yes.
shocked. And he said, and I gave him the why. I told him, see,
Yeah.
the platform, the way it used to be back in the day, it's not the way it is now. The platform, what we used to know it, even the CIS, it was just one, or even the platform itself, it was scoped apps, right? Before even they got to scoped apps, everything was embedded, built in. But there's a lot of areas
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
there. But if you have a solid foundation, every other thing, you know how to research it, you know resources, you have community, you have folks. Hey, you have other engineers or you have people that are, do you, when you're stuck, do you know where to go research it? I'm
Mhm,
not going to
mhm,
go and know how to write. Like I told someone even recently too. I said I don't write scripts every day, but there's a lot of
mhm.
templates I can go pull up and then
Yeah, yeah,
fix what I need
exactly.
to and go.
Exactly.
So what can I troubleshoot it? Can I see what is missing where?
Yeah.
Asking the right question, that's analysis. Asking the right question so that you can get to the right answers. That's really it, so that you can see how you can provide value.
Yeah.
So for the most part.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we're
so sorry.
grateful for you.
I missed a
Go
very
ahead.
sorry, Namika. I missed a very
Go ahead.
important thing. Like it just occurred to me right now for anybody when you asked me for anybody trying to start what I would advise, like I know I said just start. I know I said continuous learning.
Mhm.
If you struggled a bit like I did on what, I know I mentioned that word, but I think it's what I wanted to say when I mentioned what. When you are not sure what, if you are a believer, please pray about it.
No, that's number one.
That
You
is
can't
number
miss that.
one. I don't know how I missed that, but I know it was in my head to say that, but just blabbing all about service now and everything.
Oh yeah, that's number one.
Pray,
God
pray,
first.
pray,
Hey.
and then you can, relate it. And then just sometimes I know a lot of people globally, we have different religions and everything, but pray and just leave the rest to God and do what you
Right.
think you should be doing
Don't
and
believe.
just start. The rest will flow. Maybe even if
Yeah.
it's not meant to be along the line, you will just find yourself switching to the right thing you should be doing. Trust me. Yeah, that was it.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Good deal. Good deal. Whatever you believe in, that's the key
Yeah,
word there. No
yeah,
matter your
yeah,
belief, right?
Yeah.
whatever you believe in, go and make, so based on your faith belief, do what
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
needed, pray, or, like we said, indulge in it, do what you need to make sure that that's kind of like your center, your core, your alignment, so that you can now, whatever, decision you take, like I said, it's all learning, and then you can know when to evolve or pivot, because you see the signs, and intuition, your faith, all that would be provided to you. So it's a good deal. So beauty is in a couple of minutes, we would have our videos ready, and then we would have Zita's contacts as well. Don't forget, is your network. The more we grow it, the more we continue to build, grow together. So LinkedIn, definitely go there, connect with her if you're not already following. She's sharing her journey there. You can learn a thing or two, and then you
Yeah.
can, go ahead and see, how she's making that progress in service now. Hey, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Go outdoors. Make sure you're like, if it's just like engineers or life generally, if you're stuck, take a break, leave it and go do something else, right? So go out there, go out there and then do what makes you happy, so that when you have that, you can exude it, especially when you're at your work, you have a fresh set of eyes and you do what's needed, as you go along. So thank you, everyone, for sharing your Saturday with us. We'll see you next time, especially after knowledge, because we should be unpacking that for next month. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you, Zita.
Thank you. Bye bye.